Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. I guess first off, I want to talk about the art just a little bit. So just for context, I haven't painted in I haven't like painted anything serious since the summer at least, so it's definitely been a couple months. And part of that is due to school and the stuff that I was involved in at school. Nothing bad, just a lot of like really busy stuff that took up a lot of my time. That is actually the reason why I was kind of failing to upload videos consistently, and I am a little bit back on track now, but in the last couple weeks of trying to be on track, I've kind of learned that when it comes to YouTube, just like being on track is an absolute nightmare. So I didn't even paint this for anything. I didn't sit down and like schedule time to just paint something for a video. I sat down on a Sunday afternoon and just sat and painted a bunch of blobs. So as you'll see, I start out painting a bunch of shapes, and my initial thought going into this piece was that I wanted to paint like interlocking shapes, not shapes that overlap with each other. There's another piece if you look at my portfolio on my website, which is linked below. And you go to my traditional portfolio, you'll see another piece where all of the like blobs and stuff kind of just interlock with each other. And I really liked that piece. And then I also have a piece that is a bunch of one color at one value. So the paint itself is never actually getting any darker. But I had gone and layered and layered and layered and layered and layered that paint, that same pale color over and over again. And it just kept getting darker and darker because that's how watercolors work. So I kind of combined those two aspects, and I did all of these shapes and all these colors, and they just kept overlapping with each other and mixing and creating new colors and all of this kind of stuff. So I guess that's the general gist of this piece. I'm using my core modern watercolor palette. That also includes a couple of Winsor & Newton colors and a Daniel Smith color. I believe it's just the one Daniel Smith color. I think I used all three, Winsor & Newton core and the Daniel Smith color that I have in that palette. But I am very much looking forward to getting new paints, hopefully in the near future, and expanding into my second palette. But actually what I did with the second palette that I have, which is a blue meat-in tin, which is exactly the same as the one that's on screen, I started putting gouache in it. I have some Winsor & Newton gouache, I don't know. And I have the Arteza set of gouache, and I started putting them in pans. So I filled up all the pans that I have, and I need to order more pans. But I think that I want to make like a gouache palette, because I do like working with gouache from pans because I feel like I'm not using as much of it. Yeah. I feel like with watercolors, the reason I like it so much is because I don't have to buy paint that often, and it's actually not too terribly expensive when I do have to. So I do think I want to pour a lot of them into pans. That being said, the Arteza gouache and the Arteza watercolor are not meant to go into pans as far as I know. Looking at the palette right now, they were kind of sticky this morning, but they're all pretty hard right now. But I think they're definitely swatchable. I have used paints that have hardened in a palette and like reused them later on. But anyways, back to what this video is supposed to be about. So essentially there are a lot of shapes, and they're all going to start overlapping with each other, and you'll kind of see that. Another thing that you're going to see, I think shortly, is my hairdryer coming into the mix. So I recently reorganized my room. Shocker, I reorganize my room all the time. And my hair dryer is on like a shelf kind of thing in a basket in such a way that it just is so easy to grab when I am painting in watercolors. And I know that I shouldn't, and I know that I should just let that paint dry, but I just wanted to keep going with this piece and just finish it, so I just finished it. But anyway, Sit Down Sunday is something that I really want to do. I just can't quite figure out what I want it to be. After recording this video, I think I want it to be like really, really long real-time videos with just music in the background and ambient noise and that kind of thing, rather than like sitting down and talking about a topic. Those like sit down, relaxy kind of videos. Cheyenne Barton has some. Like, I feel like every artist has some just like real time with music or real time just rambling about stuff. I think that's kind of what I want to do with Sit Down Sundays. But I was supposed to talk about future things in the video that was supposed to go up on Sunday, so 2 days ago. So we're kind of going to talk about that now. If you don't know, I'm so mad that I'm saying over and over again, but anyways, if you don't know, or you're new to the channel, or you don't know me or anything like that, first of all, hi, my name's Sloan. I'm a business student at community college, and I am planning on studying marketing, and up until probably like 3 weeks ago, I was really, really set on going to another school in Philadelphia. I was planning on going to Drexel. I was going to do their whole co-op program. I was going to live out in West Philly. It was like all set in stone because my community college has a dual admissions program. So all of my credits would transfer to Drexel and I would get a scholarship that's based on my GPA. So I would have had a $16,000 scholarship, as well as a $1,000 scholarship for being part of PTK, which is an academic honors society. So it was all set in stone. It was all mapped out, all of that kind of stuff. And then I changed my mind. I am the kind of person who, when I dream and plan something, I dream too big, if that makes sense. Like, I expand the realm of possibility like way too much. So I kind of pigeonholed myself into Drexel and didn't even think about going anywhere else. So I grew up in the suburbs of Philadelphia. I've never lived anywhere else. I've gone other places, but I've never actually lived anywhere else. So I kind of started exploring a little bit further. My sister and her husband, I think, are going to move to the West Coast, possibly Seattle. So I was looking at University of Washington is on my list. Seattle U is kind of on my list, but like not as much as University of Washington. But I would only go out there if they were there. And that's kind of the same deal with New York City. They live in New York City right now, so I would only go to a New York City school if they were there, because I'm not a really big fan of New York City, to be honest. So just knowing that I didn't want to go too far, I do love California, and I would have considered going to San Diego, but just the cost of living off campus, because I have so much furniture that I'd either have to sell it all. I would have to sell like a whole living room's worth of furniture plus like a whole bedroom's worth of furniture if I wanted to live on campus anywhere, so that was a factor. So that kind of crossed San Diego off the list because rent is insane. So I started looking south. So Washington, D.C., Virginia. Sorry, my phone is making noise because I'm getting emails for school. Washington, D.C., Virginia, places that my parents could drive to, or I could take like a bus or Amtrak home from. But not so far, like not Florida or like Georgia, nowhere that's like super, super south, because that's just not really my kind of vibe, college-wise. Just like, I'm a very academically minded person. I'm not the kind of person that like goes out to parties all the time and stuff. I have considered Greek life a little bit in my decisions, but it's not like a life or die factor. The things that are like really pushing my like decisions to look at certain schools are sports, actually. My major has to be marketing, well, preferably marketing. A lot of places have like business administration majors with marketing concentrations, that's fine. But I do really, really want to study marketing, and I do want to minor in something creative, so graphic design preferably, but anything creatively based, even if it's music, actually, would be great. So that's a factor. I do want to do sports. I would love to play tennis again, even if it's just like the club or intramural level, just any kind of sport that I can do. But I also want to try rowing. So having a rowing team is definitely something that I want. I'm not really looking north of where I am on the East Coast because I kind of hate winter. But looking south, even like Washington, D.C.'s winters are a lot more mild than Philadelphia's. They're kind of comparable, but anywhere south of Philadelphia is fine. So that kind of has changed my scope of things from having one school that I'm definitely going to opening the realm of possibilities to a few different places. So there's Washington, there's Old Dominion University, which is in Norfolk, Virginia. I want to look at some other Virginia schools, I think. Definitely want to look at more DC schools like GW is definitely on my list, George Washington University. Just kind of opening the realm of possibility without opening it too much. That being said, obviously, someday I'm gonna graduate at some point. But until then, I really do want to keep my channel going and I want it to be a part of my life and what I do. And I keep saying that I want to start like vlogging and showing more lifestyle stuff. But every time that I kind of push myself to do that, I kind of find that I get like pushed away from wanting to make videos and stuff. So I'm honestly not sure that that'll ever be a thing, but I like sharing the aspects of my life in this way. Like I like talking over a video and all of that kind of stuff. It's just like the whole bringing out a camera in public thing. Like I want my academic life, like my personal life and my YouTube life to remain separate, but I don't mind sharing what's going on in my personal life on YouTube, if that makes sense. I just don't want my YouTube life to like bleed into my personal life too much. So like I don't want to be like bringing the camera everywhere and all of that kind of stuff. That's just not really who I am. So it's more of like a studio type of vibe. Right now, I'm playing with a lot of hypotheticals, which is kind of an issue. But they'll get cleared up in the next like month or so. But they're like, I've been thinking like, okay, Norfolk, Virginia, what is going on there? There's a Naval Academy, which is really cool. I really like Norfolk, Virginia, like the town and everything. And I would either want to live in Norfolk by Old Dominion campus, or I think Portsmouth across the bridge. I don't know if you can bike across that bridge, but if you can, then that kind of opens up Portsmouth to being an option because I could bike to school, which would be so cute. It's 3.5 hours, I believe, from Washington, D.C., and you can take a bus to D.C. That's not very expensive. So that's really nice. We have friends in D.C., and it would be kind of fun to be able to like have weekends with my parents in DC and that kind of stuff, because I do really, really like Washington, DC as well. Norfolk, Virginia is also very inexpensive. So I've been looking at rent and it's really, really cheap. And although I do really like having roommates, if I ended up not having a roommate, I could actually afford to live in a 2-bedroom apartment for basically what I'm paying right now for a room in a 3-bedroom unit. So it'd be kind of nice to finally have enough space to have my desks and my computer and everything be as far away from my bed as possible, and I would probably sleep a lot better too. But yeah, that's kind of like, I'm kind of like honing in on some schools and kind of narrowing down my list because I need to decide if I'm going to transfer in fall of 2020 or summer of 2020. So Old Dominion takes summer transfers. Drexel does not take summer transfers. Neither Seattle U nor U Washington takes summer, but I believe that Seattle Pacific takes summer. I don't know what the whole deal is with that. But anyways, there are a lot of like up in the air things right now, and it's kind of driving me a little bit crazy. But yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at right now. Just finished midterms for the fall semester, so that's nice. I have straight A's, not to brag. But I do have straight A's, and I am very proud of my straight A's, I'm not gonna lie. I am taking a winter class, so the way that winter works at CCP is that we have a winter term that's 4 weeks long, and all the classes are online. So I'm taking business law, and like things are due like every 3 days or something, which is insane. But I am looking forward to it because it'll be nice to have like another class that's just done and out of the way, and then I won't have to take later. And then in the spring semester, I already set my schedule. I'm taking 6 classes. So I have class every day, but 4 classes Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and 2 classes Tuesday, Thursday. So that'll be really nice, and I'm looking forward to that. And I guess like the up in the air part happens when the semester ends, because that's when my semester ends. I think the last day of finals is literally April 30th, and the lease at where I'm living right now ends on May 1st. So it's kind of like they're all ending at the same time, and I have to decide if I'm going to stay at Community College of Philadelphia or if I'm going to transfer then, and all of that kind of stuff. But yeah. There are all my up in the airs. There's what I've been thinking about lately, and I think that's a little bit I think that might be a little bit of why I kind of have been struggling to like put out a video, is because I just have like all of these things to think about. And I know it's so stupid, but it's just like so many things to think about and like so many things going on that are stuck in my head, and then like I'll sit down to talk about a video or like do a voiceover or something, or like even film a video, and I'm just like, I have a million things to do, I can't do this. So it's kind of nice to be able to just like spit it out and just say it and like have YouTube know and everything. But I do have plans for YouTube to make, I can definitely do like my plan with mates every week. That's easy. I could definitely crank those out. I actually think I'm going to stop using that cover that I use on my bullet journal. We'll see how I feel about that when I get to filming on Friday. But yeah, I think I'm going to stop using that cover. But I definitely want to put up those plan with me's. I definitely want to paint. Like, I'm starting to get back into painting, playing around with different things, all of that kind of stuff. So I definitely want to film all of that. And I have a lot of new stuff that I've wanted to review for a long time. So I apologize in advance. It's just like review after review. I've been looking forward to putting those videos up. But anyways, this video is getting way too long. I'm rambling in my voiceover pro YouTuber right here. But anyways, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one.